Supertunias, Supertunia Vistas, Superbells, Super-wha, Supertunia Mini Vistas, it can all get really confusing. What's what? How's it gonna grow? So let's just take a minute and talk about each one of those briefly so that when you come to the garden center, you're prepared to be able to put things in your space that are gonna fit and fill your needs. First things first, each of the flowers that I'm going to talk about today are proven winners. How do you know that you're getting a proven winners plant when you go into the garden center? They make it really easy. It is required that when people sell proven winners brand perennials, annuals, that they are in the proven winners pots. As a consumer, I love this because I know when I go in, I'm getting what I'm looking for. This is what their branding looks like. They're going to be in a white pot like this. This goes for their smaller items all the way up to their perennials that are in a 1 gallon, 2 gallon, 3 gallon container. Some of the smaller pots might not be that stark white, and they will be in what's called their new Eco Grande. These are compostable and plantable planters. And there you will see the PW, Proven Winners, different color, but it's all there. Hanging baskets and containers might be a little bit different because they have their own pots that are a little bit different, but you'll have a tag somewhere that will probably say what it is. If you don't know, if you're shopping at our garden center, our hanging baskets are all gonna be Proven Winners. We get them from a few different suppliers, so they come a little bit different with the tags. But if you know the specific plant that you're looking for and you know that you want it to be the Proven Winners Supertunia or Superbell or whatever that plant might be, there is a way to be able to tell that you're getting what you're hoping that plant is. Let's start with the Supertunia series. The Supertunia is the baseline of their petunia series. They grow between 1 to 2 feet wide, maybe 9 inches high, and have a beautiful spread. They do not need to be deadheaded. You water regularly, fertilize once a week, and they look beautiful, covered in blooms. They love the heat. The big difference between each of these is going to be bloom size and growth pattern. They're great in pots or in your landscape. Now, we'll go to Supertunia Vista. So remember, when you add a word, the plant gets bigger. Supertunia Vista is that Supertunia, but these are varieties that are gonna grow and have a more vigorous growth pattern. So they're going to be larger. A lot of these are going to be between 3 to 5 feet big by the time the season has ended, if they are happy, fertilized, and are in a good sunny spot. So very easy care. Again, no deadheading. Keep them watered and fertilized once a week. Beautiful. The next will be the Supertunia Mini Vista. So this gets a little bit tricky. The blossom size of these are a little bit smaller. They're a petite flower, but I'm gonna throw up a couple of pictures here. As you can see, the yellow here and the scarlet here, even though the bloom is smaller, the plant is so covered and it just blooms prolifically all summer that even though the blossom size is smaller, you still get the same impact of all that color. But just like the Supertunia Vista, this is a mini vista. The mini refers to the bloom size. The vista is referring to the growth pattern. So you're going to get a massive plant that's going to grow 3 to 4 feet in size, and it will be loaded in the smaller blossom. It has the same requirements as both of the other Supertunia varieties, which means you are not going to have to deadhead them. You water them regularly, fertilize once a week, full sun, and they're going to be rock stars for you. Now, with all of these, of course, each color sometimes grows a little bit differently. Hopefully your garden center will be able to help you with that. If you ask those questions, I know when you come here, there might be a couple that I might say, I haven't grown that one, but that's part of my goal in growing things out front the way that we do, is that I can give you feedback based on how they've grown here in the ground or in a container to be helpful. Now, we're gonna move to Superbells. Superbells are actually the Proven Winners name for Calibrachoa flowers. These look like a little petunia, but they are not. They are a Calibrachoa. The needs of these flowers are a little bit different. So They actually prefer to dry out in between their waterings, and if they don't, they have a tendency that they can get some root rot, and then your plant is gone. Growth pattern is a little bit smaller. You will need a few more of them to fill a pot than you would a Supertunia. If you are someone who does not overwater your plants and you like to let them dry out and maybe you forget to water them sometimes, this might be a better option for you than the Supertunias, because when they get big, they can dry out a little bit and they can take that. They still need to be watered, but they can take that drying out a little bit more than the petunias can. So the Superbells are not the same as the Supertunias. Even though they look like a petunia, they are not. So that is the Superbells series. Also with these, no deadheading, full sun, keep them watered, letting them dry out in between, and then fertilize once a week, and they will stay beautiful all the way through the fall. I'll go ahead and do another series of videos that will talk about each one and the different colors and options that you have in each one of these varieties. Some of you, when you come, you don't care, you've got a big open space, it doesn't matter, you're just gonna love the flower and decide to plant that. But I have had people who have bought the Vista series and then tried to flank a porch with them, and then they get so massive that when, at least for pre-orders this year, they say, I want something that's smaller. I want that same look, but it took up too much space on my patio, and I want something that stays a little more compact. So the next year they're buying a Supertunia instead of a Supertunia Vista, which grows bigger. So hopefully this information is helpful for you when you're planning your space and you can buy something that works for your space and you love it.